Schengen Story magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. Though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better, the inside story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment. A better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story magazine. Get Schengen Story magazine full editions.
Good morning, viewers around the world. We are connected again to yet another beautiful day in our one-on-one interview series. This morning, we are talking with a friend, former River State APC spokesman, and that's the Honorable Ogbonna Nweke. Honorable Ogbonna Nweke is joining us from River State, Port Harcourt, and it's a pleasure to hear from him after so much. Honorable Ogbonna, you're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Good. Can we know you a little more? Can you give us a brief introduction?
Until recently, I was the spokesperson of the APC in River State. I earlier served as a member of the House of Representatives between 2011 and 2015. I've also served as Commissioner of Information and Commissioner of Commerce and Industry, and at one time, Director Press to the Governor of River State.
Great. These are some very high-profile positions, sir. Okay, last week, there was a news making round on the social platform and in the news, being that we here in Europe also follow the news in Nigeria. We were interested in that news. That was on September the 20th. It was your sudden registration from being the Speaker of the House for the All Progressive Party, APC Congress. Now you resigned from that seat, that position, and it was very, very shocking to us. What will you say about that, sir, Honorable Ogbonna? What caused that sudden resignation?
You recall that when I pulled out, I said that I did so for personal reasons.
Yes, go ahead. I think we're having network issue here. Yes, go ahead.
I didn't want to expatiate. Frankly, the dreams by the Nigerian people have been smashed by the turn of events in Nigeria. And frankly, we have a situation where the dollar is going for about 550 naira. There's so much crisis in the northeast, in the southeast. There is secessionist bid, and it became quite obvious that some of the promises made by the APC have not been fulfilled. Back home here, of course, like we say, all politics is local. But the situation where we have had to fight and fight and fight over events that are playing out in our state. As you know, going forward, we've had a lot of face-off between a faction that is loyal to the Minister of Transportation and a faction that is led by Senator Magnus Abe. Of course, I belong to that faction that was led by the Minister of Transportation. And in between all efforts to make the peace run aground, nobody have been able to move forward. And so for some of us who also believe that we joined a political party in order to offer services to our people, most of us became very restive. I, for one, have been at the center of the battle, trying to connect, trying to get people to appreciate the APC, and it was becoming increasingly difficult to send the accurate and appropriate messages to the target audiences of the party. So I thought it was necessary at that point in time to withdraw.
Well, your points are very valid, sir, Honorable Ogbonna. But one thing is, we see this happening in the last 2-3 months now. There has been this decamping of people, party members from one party to the other. From Europe, we are seeing it as, does this mean that our parties, political parties, don't have ideology? Because a party with ideology will not just have somebody leaving immediately and decamping to another party. Here in Europe, for example, their political parties all have their ideologies, what they believe in, what their mission, their core values, and all that. So is it also about ideology? Does it mean that the Rivers State PDP doesn't have that sustainable ideologies to carry it along? What will you say about this, sir?
No, I think that where we have come in Nigeria, right from the Babangida era, we always talked about people left of the center and people right of the center. In other words, there have been this attempt over time to try and build what looks like an ideology. Now, even when you look at the framing of the constitution, either of the PDP or of the APC, you see an attempt in trying to forge what could be seen as some ideology. The truth is, the issue of an ideology in Nigerian politics is not full-blown. But if you're looking at the way the PDP constitution was framed, you come to the conclusion that those who are in the PDP are conservatives. And then if you're talking about the way the constitution of the APC is framed, you just say, of course, going by the name of that party, that they are progressives. Okay? Now, but the political space is fluid when it comes to Nigerian politics. Now, like I said, all politics is local, and you as a politician, you're involved in politics because a political party should be able to deliver certain deliverables to your constituency. When that isn't happening, now those you are leading, those you are supposed to be representing, will begin to ask you, what are you doing out there? So, frankly, you have a reason to, on a comparative basis, to say in Europe or even in the United States that, of course, there is the issue of ideology. But in Nigeria, I'm just saying that you recall that we have had many years of military rule. And somehow, since 1999, we've returned to mainstream politics, and people are beginning to, of course, in the future, we'll be talking about ideology. But right now, it's at this evolutionary stage, and it's nothing comparable to what you have in Europe.
Thank you. That's very correct. It's nothing comparable. But how do your constituents feel about this? Obviously, you have your people, your followers, your constituents, your members. In a situation like this, what is their reaction? What do they?
Yes, we went out to consult them. I come from a family with a long-standing political history, and I do understand what it is to represent people or to lead them. I made very strong efforts to get back to my base and to say, look, it looks like we need to redirect our effort this time. And I gave them reasons why I thought so. Of course, I want to say that those who are close to me, those who act with me politically, are on board with me. They understand the circumstances, and I believe that we are taking a right step. And all those whom we spoke to have told us that the steps that we took was right in the interest of our ethnic nation. And I'm convinced that we are taking the best step at this time, and that going to the PDP at this time was the right thing to do.
So this now means, Honorable, this now means that South River State is now a PDP PDP entrenched state. Is that what this means? Can APC survive in that terrain? Can APC survive in these heavily bombarded PDP activities? Can APC survive?
I think that part of the problem that the APC has is that it's not been able to put its house in order, and it has allowed deep-rooted disagreements to nearly foreclose what should be the future. I am not God, so I cannot say exactly what will happen. But I can say to you that right now on ground, the tempo of what used to be the push by the APC gradually winning, because there are certain internal contradictions that have not been resolved. Now, on the other side, the PDP government here in Rivers State is delivering. You won't believe that, we need to provide infrastructure, first of all, as a state in order to attract investors. We need to ensure that our environment is secure, also to not just keep our people safe, but also keep investors who are likely to stray into Rivers State safe. Now, all of those put together are beginning to show that we have a serious-minded government on ground, which has concentrated on provision of sound roads, interchanges, many here are locals here called flyovers. You're providing basic facilities, health facilities, improving educational standards, and those are the things that you need, in order to compete favorably with other states in Nigeria or anywhere in the world in order to attract investors. And of course, you know that the Rivers State is very rich in oil and gas. My ethnic nation accounts for over 80% of gas reserves south of the River Niger. And so we too say here in Rivers that we are looking for developmental partners. See, and those developmental partners are those who share our aspirations, those who understand our needs. Elsewhere in the world, people are aiming at the moon. Now you're talking even about tourism. But here in Nigeria, we're talking about getting to our villages, and our roads are bad. So those are the issues. And so if you're a politician, for instance, these matters should concern you. Now, the PDP apparently, which is providing increasing access to the communities, which is providing increasing infrastructure to the communities, is beginning to look like the beautiful bride. Now, what matters, hopefully, is for the PDP to sustain that tempo. And of course, if it does so, it will blow away the APC. Because the APC itself, like I said, is suffering from internal contradictions, internal differences, and we don't know how soon and how well they emerge from it.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ogbonna. You have been known to be very loyal to your superiors and to your colleagues. I followed some of your story in the days of Amechi. You stood by him, and you made sure he got his mandate. Now you're in PDP, and this means that you're bringing that loyalty. It's a good trait you have, sir. I must commend you for that. You will bring that loyalty to PDP. So what do we see will change in PDP as you come in with your determination and force and that spirit of loyalty that is lacking in most politicians these days? What are the changes we expect to see in your PDP plan?
We expect to see a much more humane PDP, a party that is doing well, who is able to communicate what it is doing to its different audiences. Frankly, so much has been done in the last 6 years, I must say so, for I'm a Rivers person, and I'm sure that you are also in touch with other Rivers people. Yes, who may be giving you reports from home. Now, we cannot deny that something new is happening in Rivers, and that this is a time to get all Rivers people aboard the same boat so that we can sail. We live by the shores of the ocean. Our environment is very, very challenging. And when we find people who are willing to confront those challenges, people are willing to stand up to our demands, people who are saying, for instance, that we should end the regime of what we call federalism, that is unitary in nature. Now people are beginning to talk about fiscal federalism, and you cannot imagine that Rivers State government is going to war with the federal government over that, and Lagos is supporting. That should be a strong message. It shows that we at this point in time have some focus, and we must drive that process. We do not need to encourage a situation where states go cap in hand, for instance, to the national level to beg for funds. And I believe here that the patriotic zeal of the Rivers man is being driven upwards, and that all of us working together, will be able to send clear messages to the center and clear messages to our people back home, that this is the time to unite and this is the time to work together. Now, I think that perhaps working hand in hand with His Excellency Governor Nyesom Wike, who has assured me that he is willing to listen, not just to people like us, but to the people, his elites, who could go places from here.
Very good. We could go places from here. Those are strong words. It's a brief interview, but before we go off, I want to say this to you, sir. Coupled with your experience as a media man, a communication man, there are countless rivers in the diaspora. And it will be of great deal if you, in all your endeavors, all your plans, also connect the diaspora into plans, because the rivers in diaspora have seen a lot. They've seen how things work. They know how governance can go well. So involving them will be a major part in this new Nigeria we all seek for. So on that note, I want to ask if you have any last thing to say before we sign out, Honorable Ogbonna.
I think that in saying that we want to work together, we are making direct appeals, not just to those who are at home, but to those who are abroad as well. Everybody knows how much there is synergy, for instance, between the Indians at home and Indians in diaspora. And so, frankly, we are looking forward to our own people. One of the reasons they went abroad was to gather the experiences of the West, to gather exposure, and bring that exposure back home or bring it to bear. We are not saying that they should leave their jobs abroad, that they should leave their places abroad and come back home. No, that's not the point. But we believe that we can benefit from some symbiotic relationship. They acting, bringing us ideas that are workable within our environment, because we know that they are Nigerians, but we know that also they will be bringing some ideas that are relatively digital. Now, and we're living in a global village at this time, and we want to look forward to having such relationships with them. I believe that the governor of Rivers State, who is saddled with responsibility of creating the necessary infrastructural base, will be very in touch with the idea of dealing with those in diaspora. And then finally, for those who are at home, it is time to unite. We are Rivers people. We do not live in space. We live home, and we see, and we are seeing what is going on. And I believe that regardless of what persuasion politically you belong, there's truth in what is going on. There's work. Good work is going on. This is the time to give alliance and to fight together along the same path to ensure that our state emerges as a strong force within Nigeria. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ogbonna Nweke.
Nweke.
Sorry, sir.
Nweke. No, just make this N silent. Pronounce W-U-K-E. That's Nweke. Nweke. Okay, it doesn't matter anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We still continue with you. We'll be having more discussions with you as time goes on. You're a force to reckon with. Somebody that stood his ground, and you stand your ground in whatever situation it is. So we thank you for coming on the 101 Shengen Story Media, and I look forward to having more conversation with you, even as we look forward to the progresses you bring into the new PDP you have joined. On that note, we want to say thank you, viewers, for joining in. This is 101 Schengen Story Media. We just finished speaking with the former Rivers State APC spokesman, Honorable Ogbonna Nwike. He has resigned from that post, and now he's in PDP political party in Nigeria. So on this note, we say, may you all join us. We look forward to more conversation with intelligent minds from Nigeria, from Africa, from the world. And see you next time when we tune in. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Schengen Story Magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. Though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story Magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better, the inside story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle, inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment, a better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story Magazine. Get Schengen Story Magazine full editions.